Here we go. Do you want to set it up?
Yeah. So at the start of this, once upon a time, there's a 16-year-old boy named Pablo. He loved to ride sled dogs and train them, and we had him set up in a small village called Northwich, which is a secluded town. It's like in the middle of basically nowhere, just a bunch of snow, and uh, he has a best friend, which is the lead dog, is named Riley, and we kind of get more into that.
Okay. So every day, what they do is they go out and they go on these adventures, and they hope they come across another village because they live somewhere like really remote. And the only problem is that Pablo's mom doesn't want him to go any further than like the edges of the village. And so if he tries to go past the outskirts of the village, they have to cross this icy ravine, which is kind of intimidating.
Yeah. So one day when Pablo was training his dogs and doing his daily routine, his mother kind of got upset, was saying, "Hey, you need to focus more on like taking care of this village and taking care of the people." And Pablo didn't really like that. Pablo was used to always taking care of his dogs and training his dogs. So they got into a big argument that Pablo decided, without thinking, that he was just going to storm off. So it was a very cold day, very snowy, and he just got really upset.
Okay. So because of that, he was just in a mood. He was driving angry, and he had no idea where he was going. So he was just blinded, and he wanted to get away from the village. So he just starts like getting the dogs to go faster and faster. And then Pablo and Riley start going so fast, they're going down the slope, and they hit a bump, and it sends them flying down into the ravine.
And the crazy part about this is once they crash and once the event happens, Pablo finally realizes like what happened, that he crossed the icy ravine and he doesn't really know where he is. And the turning point of the story is his dog also gets injured in the process. All of his other dogs are okay, but it's more of a worry of like, oh, it's his best friend Riley. He's hurt. He doesn't know what to do. He's kind of in a panic, but he really wants to just find somebody else that can hopefully take care of his dog. So Pablo grabs Riley and he starts on his journey to hopefully find someone.
So Pablo takes the lead dog position. So he's leading the pack while he's carrying Riley. And he walks in the snowy weather, and it's getting dark out. So he's really kind of freaking out. And then he sees a light, like a dim light in the distance, and he starts to go towards the light. And then he sees a sign that says, "Welcome to Sorewind Village." So he's found a village, and he goes in and he finds this girl named Jezebel. And Jezebel also trains sled dogs, and her dad happens to be the local veterinarian, which is a lucky break for Pablo and Riley.
Indeed, it is. So they fix up Riley as fast as they can so Pablo can get on his way back home. But the problem is that Pablo doesn't know how he's going to cross back over the icy ravine. There's no, like, they got over through a jump and there's no way to like really get back unless they do something about it.
So finally, he tells them why he's so worried. And Jezebel mentions that she has an idea that could help them get back over the ravine. So her village gets together and they decide to build a bridge using logs and rope. And because now they know there's someone on the other side. So Jezebel, Pablo, and the others from the village, they create this bridge. And after a long walk across the bridge, Pablo and Jezebel go back to his village, and there's his mother, and she's been looking for him, the whole time.
And Pablo, feeling really bad, has to explain that like even though he was gone and even though something dangerous happened, he also got something positive out of it. And they're able to find another village on the other side of the ravine, which eventually allowed them to merge together and become one village. They were like Norwin and, well, they called it Norwin now because it was Sorewind and Northwich. So now it's called Norwind, and they all get together with the love of sled dogs, and it's like a happy ever after.
Yeah.